Y'all, Sean P. Diddy Combs is done. He is done for. Man, so if y'all haven't heard, Sean P. Diddy Combs was taken into federal custody in connection with an alleged sex trafficking investigation. This happened yesterday, right? And when I saw this, I say taken into federal custody. The feds don't come into play until they have something they can make stick most of the time, right? Like nobody hardly ever beats the feds. They wait until they have something that can stick before they come in and indict you and get you up out of there. That's why I guess after they raided his homes in LA and Miami, they sat for a minute, they gathered enough evidence, and they was like, okay, we got him. So now they go and take him, and they've taken him into custody. Now, of course, his lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, is saying he's not guilty, he's innocent of charges. That's what his lawyer is supposed to say. But when I'm reading this indictment, y'all, like, it's crazy. First count he's facing is racketeering conspiracy. The second count is sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. The third count is transportation to engage in prostitution. Y'all, when I'm reading this stuff, they talking about Diddy having like sex parties that were known as freak-offs, right? Where him and his friends and all of that, they would have all these sex workers come in and other girls who were coerced into doing sexual acts and all of that. They would have them in these hotels. They would book all these hotel rooms, and they would have the rooms stocked with supplies, and all the, supplies could have been many of those baby oil bottles, because they found more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil lubricant in Diddy's residences in the March raids, right? So they had all these, these supplies in these rooms, and they get the rooms prepared, and they have all these girls and sex workers and other girls that have been coerced, and girls that have been, convinced that if they don't do this, they won't receive the money that they normally get to work or whatever, right? Making them basically feel like they have to do this. When I'm reading the indictment, it included Diddy and his company allegedly drugging these women, and making them drugging them in order for them to be obedient to the demands that were required during these freak-offs, right? The indictment talks about, again, coercion, unwilling participants. Because some of y'all gonna say, well, these people willingly participated in this. No, the indictment talks about unwilling participants. It talks about Diddy's people beating people into submission. Diddy beating folks into submission, preventing them from leaving. There are talks about, I read it, where after the freak-offs, they have IVs administered to them to prevent exhaustion, and all of that, and to take the drugs out of their system after they've been drugged up. And y'all seen these movies where a lot of these girls be on drugs when they be having sex trafficking and all that type of stuff going on, and they're involved in sex work. It's crazy, right? Yeah, man, I'm reading this stuff, dog, and it's like, fam, I'm gonna say this, they have video footage. They said they have photo, because the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York held a press conference today to answer questions about Diddy's indictment. He says that photo and video evidence of Diddy's freak-offs were seized as well, and adding that the authorities are not done with their investigation. They are not done with their investigation. So I'm telling y'all right now, anybody that was in them rooms on them tapes with Diddy, doing all this wild stuff, drugging girls and making them engage in sex acts and any of that evidence, they going under the jail too. You was in here doing all this stuff and all these freak-offs, you in here naked in these rooms with these girls that been drugged up and forced to not be able to leave and all of that, you going to jail. And it's the crazy thing about it. You doing all this wild stuff and you're recording it. That lets me know Diddy thought he was invincible. He thought nothing was going to happen to him. He thought he could do whatever he wanted to do, because oftentimes money makes people feel like they're powerful. I mean, they are powerful, right? When you got money, right? But it makes them feel like they are invincible and they have an unlimited amount of power that can get them out of any trouble. So you're recording evidence of something that you know is wrong, something that you know is foul, right? all this stuff, you know what I mean? You got a whole situation set up where you like, oh, the girls can't leave. If you don't do this, we'll put hands on you. You ain't gonna get no money. This, then the third. Your pay ain't gonna be the same. You ain't getting no pay. You drugging girls up, and you think recording this is a good idea. That lets you know his mind was so gone into another realm that he just thought he could do whatever he want to do with no consequences and no repercussions, or he was just above everything. Above everything. And for a man that got daughters, matter of fact, I don't care if he got daughters or not. It's good and there's bad. It's good, there's good and there's bad. And he was out here doing some foul, despicable stuff. For real. Whether you have daughters or not, you should not have, that should not dictate your ability to know right from wrong. If you have daughters or not. That shouldn't be able to dictate your ability to know right from wrong. But since you have daughters, it will make you think, what if somebody was doing this to your daughter? If they was, because Cassie had allegations of Diddy allowing other men, making her have sex with other guys and recording it and making her engage in sex acts with other men and, all that crazy, weird, wild, crazy stuff that goes on in a lot of these circles in Hollywood and these elite circles. It's crazy, because she talked about it, and some people were saying, Cassie was lying, she was a willing participant, all of that. Now the feds say they have video evidence and proof and photos of all of this stuff that was going on, and it's not looking good at all, man. So I'm saying, anybody that's on them tapes in there with Diddy doing all this wild stuff, y'all are going under the jail too, because they said they are not done. And I'm looking at this whole situation, man, because he's facing life in prison on the racketeering charge. He's facing a maximum of life in prison and a minimum of 15 years for sex trafficking. He's facing a maximum of 10 years in prison on the transportation for prostitution charge. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's getting wild. Not to mention Don Richard, who was formerly of Danity Kane and Dirty Money, singer in the group. Don is suing him for brutality and assault, right? The type of assault, nasty assault. And I'm looking like, his lawyer, I know his lawyer is one tired man, fighting up all of these allegations against Diddy. Then not only did they seize photo and video evidence of Diddy's freak-offs, they seized 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine, right? So you got firearms involved in this, all these different videos of sex acts and prostitution and all sex trafficking. It's crazy. It's crazy. And, so that's why you got people saying, hey, people around Diddy, that's around him, a lot of them are probably panicking right now, because if he goes down, they're going to go down too. They're going to go down too. Diddy ain't letting himself go down by himself. And I hate to say that, but I saw what I had to see from Diddy. When Shine was in the club with him, popping off to protect Diddy, and Diddy separated his case from Shine's case so he can get off and let Shine sit in jail for all that time. I don't even know if Diddy was sending him money and making sure he was good while he was in jail. Ain't no telling. But I already knew when that happened with Shine, he separated this case from Shine. So, hey, that ain't me, that's him. Y'all, I'm going to take my lawyer off that case. My lawyer just with me. That's when I knew, oh yeah, this dude, wow. This dude crazy. And I didn't even know that until I got older. Because I didn't know that as a kid. I'm only 31. So when I saw that, I say, oh yeah, this dude is crazy, right? But you got other people saying, because now we saw Kevin Lyle step down from his role as a chairman and CEO of 300 Entertainment. And, people saying, is this due to possible connection to him being on some footage or something? Well, I don't know. I ain't going to put that on Kevin Lyle's name, so I'm not going to say that's what it is. But you got people speculating that maybe why he stepped down. But it also could be that he just stepped down because maybe he was just ready to just step down. Ain't no telling. But when you're hearing racketeering conspiracy, it involves other people. So people looking like, hey, is this one of the individuals involved? but we don't know. So I'm not gonna say Kevin Liles is involved at all, but people are wondering who could be involved with all this stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's quite crazy when I'm reading through all of this stuff, cause again, he's facing the first count, racketeering conspiracy, where members and associates of the Combs enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, trafficking, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotic offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. And obstruction of justice is impeding the work of law enforcement or government, lying to police officers, or bribing them, etc. That's obstruction of justice. Again, count 2 is sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and then count 3 is transportation to engage in prostitution. And when I read that, they said from at least in or about 2009 up to and including in or about 2024 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, Diddy knowingly transported an individual in interstate and foreign commerce with intent that the individual engage in prostitution and attempted, aided, and abetted, and willfully caused the same to wit Combs transported, aided and abetted, and willfully caused the transportation of female victims and commercial sex workers in interstate and foreign commerce on multiple occasions with the intent that they engage in prostitution. Okay? So it's a lot. It's a lot. And matter of fact, speaking about him him and the lawsuit that Don Richard filed. Don Richard, Don Richard again, that's she was of Dirty Money and of Danity Kane, right? After that lawsuit from Don, Diddy contacted Kalina Harper, who was also another member of the group Dirty Money. He said he contacted her about 54 times, trying to call her and talk to her about the whole situation, right? Now, he had his arraignment, Diddy had his arraignment this afternoon, and he pled not guilty to racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking charges, but he will remain detained until his trial. So, yeah, man. This is wild. And this is crazy. But again, I'm not surprised, because I've always heard certain stories about Diddy and people talking about how powerful, the power that Diddy has and things that he's done and he's been into. I mean, y'all seen Big Gene, because Big Gene hate Diddy. He's been talking about Diddy for years and stuff that Diddy was into and that he was doing and stuff that he was getting away with, right? People have spoken about abuse against Kim Porter, the mother of his children. They've spoken about abuse against other women that were around, right? They've spoken about other things that Diddy has allegedly done, violent acts to other people, not just women, but men as well, right? Saying that he had the power to do a lot of things, and Diddy has been threatened to unalive people. I say unalive because, again, like I always tell y'all, if I say the K word, I could get demonetized. But I mean, I said other words in there that probably could get me in trouble as well. But I got to report the news to y'all. So yeah, man. When you hear, I'm sorry, I lost track. But yeah, when you hear all these things about Diddy for years and people alluding to him having a part in the death of Tupac Shakur and also Biggie Smalls, and people saying you hear these rumblings and rumors for a long time, you thinking, damn, is smoke? It's where there's smoke, there's fire in some of these instances, because it's just been some outlandish, a lot of stuff has been said about him over the years, and you've heard a lot of rumors come out about his personality and how he engages with other people. You heard about him slapping other folks, allegedly. I don't know, did he smack Drake or something like that, allegedly? Yeah, they say allegedly smack Drake and all that type of stuff. When you hear all these type of stories about him, yeah, that let me know you can't get fooled by that dancing and that playing and that laughing and those rumors about him being gay. Like, that don't got nothing to do with the fact that he's had a reputation of being a violent man. And then when we see footage of him beating and kicking on Cassie, that let me know all I needed to know. That let me know all I need to know. When I saw that footage of Cassie getting beat on, I said, oh yeah. He's done a lot of everything people were saying. When we see the footage and how he was kicking her and dragging her down the hallway with no regard to her at all, like he did not care, in a hallway of a hotel like she was next to nothing. I mean, he was not caring, chasing her down the hallway, acting a fool, acting wild, crazy, acting a you know what. I said, oh yeah, that's all on him. That's all on him. And a lot of they let me know a lot of the stuff I heard about him. I say, yeah, it gotta be true. Cause look, the way he was doing that like he didn't care anything about that woman. Like she was nothing. Like she was the dirt beneath his shoe. And I say, oh yeah, it's over with. And now people are gonna step forward. People are gonna start speaking more now. And it ain't looking good. It ain't looking good. And in this situation, money can't always save you from everything. It can't always save you from your past terrible actions. It can't always save you and get you out of trouble. It can save you a few times, but eventually you keep acting a fool, you keep it up, you keep lasting, you're gonna get caught. And the money won't matter either. The money won't matter either. So yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all thinking about this whole topic in the comment section below. We can talk about it. Y'all click the like button and click the subscribe button. Machiavelli Mills TV. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm out. Peace.